Alright, here we are in week 2. This time it's sheet number 2, so make sure you got the right sheet. We're going to start with naming the angle in 4 ways. First thing, always we can name it according to its vertex. Unless, of course, there were other angles that also shared that vertex, then we wouldn't know which one we were talking about. So, we'd have to name it some other way, be a little more precise. We'd call it TSR. TSR. Or go the other way. RST, RST, or sometimes if you've got a small number inside the angle, like we call this one 5, we call this 4, 3, 2, would be another way to name the angle, we call this angle 5, alright? Leave the rest of those up to you. Take a look at a couple of them down here. Alright, trying to find the measure of angle DER, DER. Trying to find this angle right here. Now we know that the measure of angle REF, let's see, REF is 90 degrees. And we could also put a little right angle symbol in there. And we know that the measure of angle DEF, DEF is 134. And that is this big angle all the way here. Now, we know that the two small angles added together equal the large angle, so DEF, so DER. So we have measure of angle DER plus measure of angle REF, REF equals DER, measure of angle DER. And I think I may not have mentioned this in the last video, but here, this little M in front, remember we talked about this symbol here means angle. The little M in front means measure of angle DER. So here you see this, it's a number. It's some size of an angle. Measure of angle DER. Okay, so now let's see. DER, well, that's the one we don't know. So, measure of angle DER. Measure of angle REF, we know that. REF, it is 90 degrees. And let's see here, measure of angle DER, we know that is 134 degrees. So then we just have to solve this little equation here. We're going to subtract 90 degrees from both sides. And we end up with measure of angle DER equals 134 take away 90. Let's see, if it were 130 take away 90, that would be 40, so it's 44 degrees. Alright, let's do another one here. Next door we've got measure of angle JIA. JIA is 62 degrees. Measure of angle AIH, that's AIH. That one over here, AIH. That's 80 degrees, and we're trying to find JIH. JIH, that's the big angle on the outside. So we know that the measure of angle JIA, that's the small angle here, plus the measure of angle AIH equals the measure of angle JIH. So the two small angles add up to the big angle. Then we're just going to go in and substitute our values. We have 62 degrees plus 80 degrees equals measure of angle JIH. So measure of angle JIH is equal to 62 plus 80, well 60 and 80 is 142. We have our answer. Alright, I'm going to leave the last couple up to you, and let's take a look at what we have on the back side here. Okay, a little bit of algebra here. We're going to start out with doing a little, simplify the expression, we'll do a little distributive property. So we got 7 times 5 and 7 times a negative 5n. So 7 times 5 is 35, and 7 times a negative 5n, that's 7 times negative 5 times n. 7 times negative 5 is negative 35 times n. We just put the times n there. Okay. Now we're going to do a little equation solving. Let's do a couple of these. All right. So this first one here, I'm going to start by circling my terms over here. I have two terms. That's the 7x and the negative 2. And the terms are just things that are separated by plus or minus. And I want to isolate the x by itself, which means I have to isolate the term that has the x first. So we got to get rid of this term by adding 2. And of course, you have to do the same thing to both sides to maintain the equality. So left over here, we have 7x equals negative 16 plus 2 is negative 14. And then in our next step, to isolate the x, we just divide by 7 on both sides. So that leaves us with x equals negative 14 divided by 7 is negative 2. Then we go back and check our answer by substituting it into the original equation, 7 times negative 2 minus 2 equals negative 16. Let's see. 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. Following our order of operations, to do the multiplication first. Then minus 2 equals negative 16. Negative 14 minus 2 is negative 16, which equals negative 16. Check. We've done it correctly. Let's do one more. Next door. All right, we've got m minus 6. So we can treat this. Remember when we were doing the order of operations problems, we had to do what was inside the parentheses first. We can think of what's inside these parentheses as a single quantity that's being divided by negative 2. And after it's divided by negative 2, we get negative 1. So we're going to start by undoing this division by by 22 and multiply by 22 on both sides. So times 22. In fact, some people will just write a little like slash here, and they'll write times 22 instead of writing it on both sides. Okay, so here we get negative 22 equals m . All right, and next up, we're just going to have to add 6 to both sides. So we go plus 6, plus 6. This leaves us with m over here, and negative 22 plus 6 is negative 16. And we're done. Let's go back and check our answer, though. So we have negative 1 over here, and over here we have m, which is negative 16 minus 6 over 22. So following our order of operations, we have negative 16 minus 6, that's negative 22 over 22. And then negative 22 divided by negative 22 is negative 1. So check. We've done it correctly. All right. This video is already getting pretty long, so I'll leave the last two up to you. Good luck.